Hey buds, in this video I will be showing you how to complete the Shattered Veil main Easter egg. I've completed this egg about 5 times now and I am loving this map. So special thanks to my friend Fireball and Bunny for helping me get this footage. Hi. But not only that, thank you so much to our members Aya, Lilith, the Happy Tree Hugger, and Kinboshi for going above and beyond with supporting us. If you're interested in becoming a member so we can continue doing what we love, then consider hitting that join button right next to the subscribe icon. But now that we've thanked everyone, let's get into loadouts. Before going into this, make sure that you have Aether Shroud and Brain Rot unlocked, because in order to progress the main quest, you're going to need these. So if you've prestiged, then level to 47 to get Aether Shroud back, or use a prestige token. If you're not a high enough level to use Brain Rot, then you can get lucky with elemental pop activations, but it's really easier to have these two before you start your game. Now that we've got that, let's load into the map. You're gonna need to look out for these items as you make your way to the mansion. If you go the conservatory route, then interact with this lion fountain to get reflector 1. We'll get the next reflector later, so don't worry. You'll also need to look out for these purple flowers, which can spawn in the conservatory, the front of the mansion, spawn by Speed Cola, and throughout the balconies of the mansion as well. You're going to need to find 4 of these flowers that are purple and use an explosive on them. They will shriek out with purple fire and then throw a seed out. Also make sure to look out for boxes like this on the ground, and you can shoot them or punch them to get some salvage and other loot, and eventually you'll find the essence bomb. All of these items are going to be used for the 3 Raygun Mark II elemental upgrades. If you don't find all the flowers or the essence bomb, then don't worry, there are more locations further into the map, but to save time, you should pick them up in the earlier rounds. Now that we're at the mansion, there are 2 routes we can take to open Pack-a-Punch. To the right, head into the library and climb this ladder to kill this zombie to get the fuse. And while we're on this side of the house, let's open this door to the study, and next to the gun buy, there will be a bell in these glass cabinets. Shoot into them and interact until you find the bell. I found 3 total locations that this can spawn in. One will be to the right of the wall buy, the other will be to the left of the doorway, and the final spot is next to the computer with an axe in the table. I found that throwing a grenade in here is the best way to go about opening all the glass cabinets, but you can shoot all of them until you find it. Now that we've grabbed everything useful on this side of the mansion, let's head to the other route and into this children's room and onto the balcony. We're going to want to interact with this lion fountain and pick up the second reflector. Buy this door and take the first left into Richtofen's room. To the left of the bed, shoot this computer and get the circuit board. Now we can make our way to the back patio. Open this door and turn into the banquet hall. We now have everything we need to open Pack-a-Punch. In order to Pack-a-Punch, we need to go into the lab, which is in the basement. But before we can pack our weapons, we're going to need to repair the elevator and then open it. But before we repair the elevator, let's pick up this sconce sitting on this rubble. Now that we've got that, let's go behind the elevator and repair it. Hold interact, then interact with this hand scan and kill the zombies that are gonna pop out of the elevator. Interact with it again and then zipline down. Now that we've opened up most of the map, let's start on getting us a free Raygun Mark II. In order to progress in the main quest, we have to have this, so you can get this out of the box, but you can also get it for free. Pack-a-punch your guns and either wait till round 10 or flip the round until you see this lab technician zombie. Once you kill him, he'll drop a floppy disk. Head back to the main foyer and through the lower right door and interact with this computer and wait until this paper is fully printed. Then hold interact. We need whatever 4-letter code is spelled in all caps here. The 4 that we've come across in our testing were worm, crab, yeti, and moth. When you have your word memorized, make your way to the kids' room. We need to look at this chalkboard and decipher our code. These letters will be randomized each game, but the pattern is super simple. In this game, crab was our code word. So we looked where C was, and it was in a 5-letter group. So our first number is 5. R and A were in a 7-letter group, so our next 2 numbers are 7 and 7. B was in the same group as C, so 5 is our last number. Our code is 5775. And every game this will look different, but just remember, all you have to do is find out how many other letters are in the same group as yours, and that is your number. Once you've got your code memorized, head back down into the lab. Walk up to this HVT's cage and interact with the number pad. Type in your code and you will unleash the HVT. Kill it and pick up the severed hand it dropped. Go deeper through the underground into the armory and interact with this hand scanner. And congratulations, you've unlocked a free Raygun Mark II. Your teammates can still get the Mark II out of the box, but this will save you some points or even a wunderbar. Now that we've got the Mark II, let's focus on upgrading it. You will need to collect 3 canisters around the map. And since we're in the basement, let's head over to this dead guy's body. He'll be holding a Casimir grenade. So pick it up, go up the zipline, and head behind double tap. In this zombie spawn window, there will be a canister sitting on this table. Throw your Casimir on the ground in front of the window and wait for it to end. And if you've done this right, you will now have a canister spawn in. For another canister, we'll need to go around the map and shoot at these emerald-looking rocks with the Raygun Mark II. The locations for these are the conservatory, the child's room balcony, in the room across from Stamina Up, and the underground by the armory. One of these will drop the canister, but the others will drop like equipment and salvage, so it doesn't hurt to break them all. And the final canister can be found in the underground lab. Next to the crafting bench, there will be a dead guy in a tube. And on the wall behind it, there will be a big wire with either A or B wrote out on it. Craft 2 throwing axes and walk over to where we freed the HVT from. To the left, there will be gas leaking from tubes. We need to line this up and throw our axes at these 2 valves. Regardless of your letter, the first valve will always be this middle one. It will spin, and now you can hit the valve that goes with your letter. So if you had A on the wall, hit this one. If you had B on the wall, hit this one. If you've done this correctly, Sam will start talking. This is when you'll need to walk back over to the dead guy in the tube and craft yourself a grenade. You're gonna have to throw it at the tube in order to break it open. And now you will have the final canister. Now let's get into upgrading our ray gun. We're going to start with the easiest upgrade to get, being ROT-BLIGHT. If you haven't found all 4 flowers yet, then now is the time to do that. Check in these locations if you're having any missing seeds, and if you accidentally explode them, then don't worry. They will respawn again in a few rounds. But once you have all 4 flowers, go into the upper floor of the conservatory. Interact with this table to insert a canister. We need to plant and grow 4 flowers by killing zombies. Interact with these boxes to place the seed, and then protect it until the seed grows to full size. You'll need to do this 4 separate times in all, and if the zombies break the plant before it grows to full size, then the seed will be spit out in front of the flower bed. Once all 4 are fully grown, head back to the table and collect your filled canister. Take it to the upgrade table at spawn, and now you've got your first Elemental Raygun Mark II. And now that we have the yellow ray gun, let's go to the library and do the ritual with it. Interact with this machine next to the painting. Use your yellow Mark II to kill zombies in order to open a portal into the Liminal Library. Make sure that you enter this room to spawn in Colton's ghost. Once he starts talking, 3 hidden audio logs will spawn in around the eastern side of the mansion. In order to collect these, you will have to be in Aether Shroud. The locations that you can find these are by the bar in the Overlook, on the 2nd story of the East Foyer, the East Foyer's fireplace, the library's couches, the studies table, the studies fireplace, and the Grand Foyer's fireplace. Make sure you check every area. Once you have collected all 3 books, go back into the library. These books will now be placed on shelves in both the Liminal and Real World. You will need to interact with the Real World's books in a certain order. And since there are only 3 books, you can really just spam interact, and you should figure out the combination very easily. You'll know that you've done it right when the secret door opens in the wall. On the table, pick up the Nuclear Inspection Report, and go back into the Liminal Library. Interact with this pedestal to start the ritual. If interacting with the pedestal doesn't start any ritual, then make sure that someone on your team has the yellow Elemental Raygun. You have to have the corresponding Raygun upgrade equipped in order to start any of the 3 rituals. When the ritual begins, it will teleport all outside players into the arena and will spawn in the yellow boss HVT. It will have a yellow shield around it that can only be damaged by the yellow Mark II upgrade. So break the shield with the Mark II and then unload into this amalgam. Once its HP hits 0, grab the Sentinel artifact and exit out of the portal. Richtofen will start talking to you, and that is our cue to go get the 2nd Raygun Mark II upgrade, which is the Preservation upgrade. If you haven't got the Essence Bomb out of one of the boxes scattered around the map, then do so now. Once you have it, head into the lab and down into the underground. Interact with this rubble on the wall to place the bomb. Head into the cave and insert a canister into this yellow machine. A ray will spark and shoot at metal rods. Interact with these to place the reflectors that we picked up earlier. We need to redirect this beam to 3 doppelganger statues around the room. In order to tilt the reflectors, melee them until they line up how you want them. To summon the doppelganger, punch this crystal. Kill the doppelganger and then redirect the beam to the other 2 statues. You will need to do this a total of 3 times, and the last doppelganger will be an HVT. Once you've killed all of them, grab the upgrade canister and head into Richtofen's room. Interact with this table and boom! You've got yourself the second Raygun Mark II upgrade. And just like with the first upgrade, we are going to go do the purple ritual. Head to the banquet hall and interact with this machine next to the painting. Kill zombies with the purple Raygun Mark II until this portrait becomes a portal. Step inside and pick up this bottle at the head of the table. You will now have to find 3 different goblets around the map. The locations for these will never move, and you can do them in any specific order. One of them is in the wine cellar on this table, one is on this bench in the Grand Foyer's overlook, and one is on this bench next to the bridge in spawn. Every time you interact with these goblets, they will spawn in an Elder Disciple. Kill the Disciple and continue on to the next goblet. Once all of the goblet's disciples have been killed, go back to the banquet hall and look at the walls behind the elevator. There will be red numbers on the walls, and we need to read them from left to right. Once you have your 3 numbers, go into the room with Death Perception. Interact with this safe and enter your code. If you've done this right, the safe will open and you will get the antler carving. Head into the Liminal Banquet Hall and interact with this pedestal. This will start the ritual, and you will have to kill an Elder Disciple HVT. Just like the last ritual, this one will have a shield that can only be broken by the purple Raygun Mark II. This is the easiest ritual, but you can still go down, so be careful. When the HVT is dead, grab the Sentinel artifact from the pedestal and head out of the portal. The final Raygun Mark II upgrade is the WRAITHFIRE. And this is the elemental upgrade that I would recommend taking into the boss fight, which is why I've left this one for last. Head in front of Speed Cola and interact with this yellow machine. This will spawn in abominations. And you will have to make them shoot their electric beams onto these 3 small rocks. Once all 3 rocks are hit with the beam, they will turn blue. And from here, you'll need the abominations to ram into the rocks. So kite them until all of the rocks have been hit and are all floating. Once all of them are in the air, the abominations will despawn and vermins will start to spawn and try to destroy the newly spawned center portal. Kill them off ASAP until the portal has finished absorbing magic from the rocks. Head over to the yellow machine and collect your elemental canister. And if your canister isn't full, then you have to redo the entire abomination step. So don't worry, you haven't bugged it, just interact again. In order to use this upgrade, we have to head into the underground, across from the armory. Interact with this table to get yourself the final Elemental Raygun upgrade. With this final upgrade, let's do the ritual. Head to the Grand Foyer and interact with this hole in the wall. This will place the sconce that we picked up earlier. Interact with it and you will have to play Samantha Says with it. Repeat the blinks back and this will open a secret doorway to the distillery. Here, interact with the machine next to the portrait and get kills using the blue Raygun Mark II. The portrait will become a portal and you need to enter to spawn in Mavoy. Make sure to stay in the room long enough for him to start talking. You'll need to then make your way up to the bar at the overlook. And if you haven't already picked up the bell, do so now. Place the bell on the bar and shoot at zombies with the Brain Rot ammo mod. You need to turn a zombie and then interact with the bar to ring the bell. The Brain Rot zombie will jump over the bar, get a drink, and give us the flask ritual item. And if a Brain Rot zombie is refusing to jump over the bar, then just spam the button and try to clear out the remaining zombies. In my experience, their pathing AI gets a little confused if there's too many enemies around. With the flask in hand, head into the Liminal Distillery and interact with this pedestal. This will spawn in a shielded HVT Mangler. The shield, like all of the others, can be broken by the corresponding Elemental Raygun. Once you've killed the Mangler, interact with the Sentinel artifact to pick it up and then head out of the portal. You are now ready to enter the boss fight. So make sure to fully upgrade your guns to max rarity, max pack-a-punch level, and get the chopper gunner loadout. I normally prefer the mutant injection heading into boss fights, but in this fight, injections are nearly useless. You don't need anything specific for this fight, but like I said, the blue Mark II is my personal choice for the boss fight. And when you're ready, interact with this terminal in front of Sam. If you're in a squad, all players must ready up. And when they do, this cutscene will play.
Thank you, my friends. This means so much to me. Therefore, it is awkward that you will not see the conclusion of my mission. I regret I could not tell you the whole truth. Please understand, humans, are human, has not been kind to me. But I wish you no harm. So I am sending you somewhere safe, where you cannot interfere with what comes next.
You idiots gave us the Sentinel artifact, didn't you?
This has been a long time coming, McTuffin.
Yes. Yes, it has. A whole decade. 10 years since my wife and child were killed in a botched hit intended for me. Burned alive in a fire set by an inept, one-eyed CIA assassin. With help from his German accomplice.
My God. Maxis and I. We killed your family. You knew. The whole time we were working for Requiem. You knew.
It's why you were handpicked. Kept where I could see you. Kept under my thumb. At least Maxis proved useful. Everything I've done. Requiem, Project Janus, Sam, all of it, just to fix your murderous fuck-up and bring Mary and Samuel back from the dead. And now, you have lost the one thing that can actually do it! With this device, Josiah Shem accidentally shattered space-time. I used it as the basis for my technology to access liminal spaces so we could feed the artifact. Now, you can either use that to get your petty revenge, or to get us the hell out of here.
There are roughly 4 stages to this fight. During every stage, the guaranteed crit spots are its eyes. And the perfect time to shoot at those eyes are when it's doing its vomit attack. Now, this fight is chaotic for many reasons, but the biggest reason is the gas clouds that spawn on the ground. You will take base health damage to these if you stay inside of them. You will also be slowed tremendously. So make sure that you slide through and past them. When the Z-Rex's HP is about 75%, it will enter stage 2. The only difference in this stage is the Z-Rex will have another crit spot on either of its midsection. When it gets to half HP, it will enter stage 3. It will jump up and onto the cliffside and respawn the gas clouds and a horde of zombies. Fend off the zombies and wait for it to jump back down. In this stage, the Z-Rex will become much more aggressive and will spawn in a bunch of toxic zombies. It will start doing a chomping, chasing attack, so be sure to split corners quickly and slide as often as possible to keep space between you and it. When the HP hits around 25%, it will jump up onto the cliffside again and respawn the gas clouds and zombies. Wait patiently for the Z-Rex to jump back into the arena and then activate your chopper gunner. If you activate your chopper gunner while it's still on the cliffside, you will do 0 damage to it, so make sure to plan when you're using your chopper wisely. And if you've already used your chopper or your friend is using their chopper, then make sure you're ready to run. In this phase, the Z-Rex is almost non-stop sprinting. So turn and shoot when you get a chance, but continue to kite it and the zombies. Once its HP hits 0, then congratulations. You've completed the Shattered Veil main Easter egg. This cutscene will play.
Thank you, Major. Fuck you. Fair enough. We're not friends. We never will be. But we are running out of time. The ether reactors at Janus Towers must be close to melting down by now. Worse, I know what Sam really intends to do with the Sentinel artifact.
She said she wants to bring back Maxis.
No. Sam wants to be Maxis. To reconstitute and inhabit her body. She would have full control of the Dark Ether. Godlike power. She can still be stopped, but our window isn't long. So what's it going to be?
I trusted you once, and look where that got me.
I don't trust you at all. But a machine wearing Maxis' face. I'd die before I let that happen.
Damn it. Okay. You got a plan?
Always.
You'll be given the option to quit the game or continue playing. If you continue playing, you will be placed back at spawn and given all of the perks, legendary rarity tool upgrades, a ray gun, and max pack-a-punch crystals. You can also exfil later in the game, which is what we did. The rewards for completing this are the Carver Pentagon Thief inspired skin, 5,000 XP, and the calling card. I hope that this video helped you through the Shattered Veil Easter egg because this map is quickly becoming one of my favorite zombies maps. So I am super happy to be able to make this video to spread the Easter egg with others. If you have any questions or if you think that something's glitched, then let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to get to round 100 in order to fight the secret boss fight, then check out this video here. But buds, remember to join the village today. It's only a click away.